What's going on, everybody? And in this week's lesson, we are going to check out some more drop D chords. Because drop D is more than just power chords, we can learn how to make some major and minor chords, as well as incorporate some maybe inversions to get some cool sounding chords, kind of upgrade our power chords. So again, I'm in a drop D tuning. Down in the description below, you can find a link for any of the tabs. So now we're going to take a look at a very simple chord progression. All right, we're going to take the chords D minor, A minor, C, and then G. Okay, that's going to be our chord progression. Now, if you're new to drop D and you don't know your power chords, we'll take a look at that first. But again, real simple chord progression. And we're going to turn it into something like this. Let's give it a quick listen. All right, so first things first, let's find the root notes on our low string, right? It's D, A, C, and then G. So right away we can play open, and then A is the 5th fret. Now, if you know your notes on the fretboard, when you drop your string, all the notes move up a whole step. So A is normally 5, well now it's a 7. So I can come to 7, there's my A chord. C would be 10, G would be 5. Now, right away we could just go. And that's cool. It works really well. We can even expand those to like extended power chords, right? Just add the G and the B string. 0, 0, 0, 2, 3, 7, 7, 7, 9, 10, right? Those chords. Like that. That works really well too. But let's check out how we can make some major and minor chords to kind of bring out the quality of those chords that we talked about earlier, right? So one way that we can take our power chords and make this a minor chord, well, we have two essentially D strings at this point. So my root on the low string is also my root on the 4th string. So if I play a minor 3rd, this particular case, a minor 3rd is 4 frets in total, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I add the 8th fret on top of that power chord, that's a nice minor chord right there. And then opposite, if I take that up one more fret, so I'll move it down the 3rd position, 3, 3, instead of 3, 3, 6, minor. If I step that up by 1, 3, 3, 7, now it's a little bit of a stretch, but you know, we can handle it. That's a nice major chord. All right, so that's a really fun way that we can get those chords. So we did D minor, A minor, C, and G. So D minor could be 003. Right? A minor, so it'd be 7, 7, 10. C was here on 10, and we need the big one, so 10, 10, 14. Back down to G, which was also a major chord. So we can play those chords like that. And that sounds really nice too, right? So what now I want to talk about, we can actually get some inversions in these chords and maybe come up with some cool voice leading and what have you, right? So if we were to play a regular old power chord shape on the guitar, we're going to get that sound. It's a 6th interval, right? And the lower registers, they don't always work that well, but higher strings, they sound great. But if I just go 3, 5, 3, remember I mentioned before, we have 2 D strings, so whatever note is on the 6th string is now on the 4th string. So if I just isolate that, 5 and 3 on my A string, that is a minor third or a minor chord. So when I take the lower string with it, technically that's D minor in an inversion, right? F, D, F. Now, maybe in standard tuning, we've seen this chord, right? A little add two kind of chord, but in the drop D voicing, it's gonna give me F, D, A. Well, that's a D minor triad. All right, so now I can go D minor. That's D minor. Now, outside of the progression we've already done, we can just look at, say, your 1 chord to your 4 chord. It's a very common progression, right? So in this case, D, D, E, F, G. We can go up to G. G is here on 5, right? So I can go. And I'm jumping up here now because I'm just doing the same thing. I'm looking for my root note on my 5th string. So if this was the inversion of my middle finger note, well, G is here on 10. So I can do that. Using inversions to our advantage. We can do the same thing with major chords, right? So it's all the minor notes are going to be moved up by a fret. So D major would be 004, and then this finger is going to move up by a note to 4. All right, G is still here, so major, big chord, and then there. I take that minor one and just move it up. Now, normally in standard tuning, that's a tritone, but now we have these nice inversions. Right? Very nice stuff. So now, let's swing all the way back around and look at the progression we started with in the beginning, right? D minor, A minor, C, G. For the example that we listened to, instead of playing D minor down here, I put it way up here. 12, 12, 15. Now, A is the 12th fret of our 5th string, our A string, so I played that inversion that we did before. Now, I also put in some melodic movement up top, which is fine. Right, same thing we talked about before, so that works. Now we're going to jump to the C chord. We're already on 10, so 10, 10, 14. Now I'm going to grab the inversion of the G chord, which is on the 10th fret of my 5th string. So that's... And the same thing I did with the other inversion, just put that in there. So now my chord progression is right here. And there you go, right? We get out of just basic power chords, extended power chords, turning them into either minor or major shapes, and then also introducing, right? Hopefully you guys dig that. Down in the description below, you can find a link for the tabs. And as always, let me know what you come up with. So until then, I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.